good here. We're live. You able to hear me? Welcome, welcome. Nope. There we go. We got a little bit of ads. Thank you everybody for joining me. My name is Zephyr Melnick. Apologies for the delay. I am live at Shawnigan Lake School bringing you the second match of our BC Bears Ontario Blues Canada Cup competition. This is an aggregate match. That first game was played on Wednesday with the Bears inching out by 24 points, a little bit more than an inch out. We do apologize for any delay of the live stream there. We had some issues just getting set up through our first BC Gold, BC Blue women's match, which was an absolutely exciting match to watch. Now live from the action, we just had Cody Nahala take a massive collision in. That was the man of the match from Wednesday. Wes Black having a go at it, having a little bit of a probe. He is a bit of a legend. His name precedes him. Out to the back now, number 11 with Liam James playing out himself, having a bit of a run. Quick off the line, off the ruck there. Oh, bobbled through the legs. Let's see what happens. Can he make something of it? Cutting back inside. Love to see that little bit of an argy-bargy action there at that contact into that breakdown. Number 5, Don Carson having a stab himself at the line. Hoo-wee. Love to see it. Cody Nahala once again stepping back inside. Just cut down a little bit, unfortunately. Lockie Kratz pitching that ball out to Talon McMullen. Quick ball from his brother Dakota, straight to Wes Black. He's charging through, barreling through himself. What a player. He plays in Moldies, as a matter of fact, for a front row. Unbelievable when I heard that. Number 4, Regan O'Gorman having a probe at that BC or the Ontario defensive line there. BC's looking, they're looking tight, they're looking rapid. They're just having a little bit of a go themselves. Maybe back in some confidence from the that first match on Wednesday. Lockie Kratz himself, grubber through, dots it down, 5 points, opening us up here about 5 minutes into this first half. We still have 75 minutes of exciting rugby to go. 2 points to follow. My name's Zephyr Melnick. I'm originally from the West Shore Rugby Club. You might see me in chat here a little bit. I do try to keep an eye on the live chat, make sure that you're engaged feedback, because I do love just bringing rugby to as many people, as many watchers, visitors as possible. If you're here at Shawnigan Lake, what are you doing? You've got a game to watch, get out of the live stream. If you're not, thank you for joining us. Do let us know from around the world where you are. I see that somebody from Shanghai is stepping in. Thank you there, Sergey. Wonderful, wonderful that the BC Rugby can draw a crowd all the way from around the world. Setting up his kick, 2 points to follow. It looks like one of the McMullens. Waiting on a jersey confirmation just so I can see his backside and figure out if it's Dakota or Talon. We are good. Conversions great. BC Bears lead 7-0 in this first half. That is number 13. That's going to be Talon McMullen taking that kick, getting the extra 2 points for the Bears, putting them on the board. Blues number 15, Brendan Black from the Oakville Crusaders, is stepping up here to have the restart. Putting that ball nice and deep, soaring past that 22 on the edge. Liam James keeps it inbound, returns that kick. Clear over the BC bench onto that brick pathway. We're going to have a line out just in between the Bears 22 and 40. First set piece of the day. Excited to see how it goes. On Wednesday, the Blues had a little bit of a problem just thrown to their back of their line out. Here's hoping they can rectify that early in this match. Quick line out. Intercepted, taken, stolen by number 6, Arthur Green. He's fighting to stay in bounds. It looks like the AR has a flag up, and we are going to out of touch. It is a great place to play a game of rugby there, Gary. Shawnigan Lake, absolute beautiful location, beautiful pitch. Sun, the weather, it couldn't have been better for a Saturday day to play rugby. And with that, I do want to give a little thank you to some of our sponsors, O'Neill Sportswear, the Canadian Rugby Foundation, CTMS Travel, and Qantas Airlines for helping us out, help support the rugby, help keep people playing. Because at the end of the day, without this game, without the money to back this game, we cannot have a match. Back of the line out, trainer throws onto the ball himself. Can he collect this ball? Can they work it backwards? It looks like it's in the hands of Wes Black right now. They're fighting forward. They break through. The Justice Sewers Duru brings that ball down as West Black breaks away, and it looks like it's going to go to a knock-on here. It's going to be scrum with Ontario's Blues put in. Second set piece of the day, but it is the first scrum. I am eager to see how it goes. Ontario on Wednesday, they were dominant in the first couple of scrums. They got a few penalties. They popped up their opposition. But at about the 20-minute mark, the BC Bears really locked in, dialed it up, and came together as a whole unit to be able to just drive the Blues backwards. Nathan Roberts from Waterloo here with the put-in for the Blues. His opposite number, Billy Wickham from the UBC Ravens. Here we go. Stable scrum so far. Hips are looking good, knees low to the ground. I like to see that as a forward myself. A little bit of hand action there. Cheeky action from the 9. Ball sitting at the back. Distributed there to Jacob Ince. Jacob Ince with the offload goes kind of in the middle of nowhere. Recovered by BC number 13, Hamish Janes. Great work there. Nice high ball from McMullen. Liam James on the wing to contest, and he holds on, juggles it a few times, puts on a little bit of a circus show for us, gets to that ground. Now Billy Wickham, distributing that ball, has a little bit of a struggle himself, down to the ground, and we're going to go to a BC Bears penalty for not wrapping, I believe. BC with another attacking opportunity here just outside Ontario's 22. They're probably looking to have a little kick down, find that line out, maybe put it on in, see what happens. Lachlan Kratz taking this. How tight to that out of bounds or that into touch corner can he find? Sails over. It looks like they're about 8 meters out from that Ontario try line. The last stream didn't happen line face here. I'm just reading back through the chat as they're setting up that lineup. We do apologize for that. It was an absolute stunner between BC Gold, BC Blue. Do wish we had the live for that. I would love to know, and we're back into it. I would love to know what that hammer is. It sounds like a little bit of an inside joke, and boy, do I love those. Line out doesn't quite go as planned. It's going to be a BC knock-on for an Ontario scrum put in. Do mind the wind. We are up here in the tower at that Shawnigan Lake house just above the pitch. It's a little bit windy, but we make our best here. Go Ontario and Cruise, boys. Crusaders Rugby Club, thank you for being here. We love a little bit of support from our clubs, showing the players that they back them. It's great. A little bit of a stoppage here. Unfortunately, it looks like James Stockwood is taking a knee. Might be getting taped up. A little bit of a blood sup potentially. The thin skin of your forehead, those eyebrows, it does split easily, so you best be careful with that noggin. Another thank you goes out to Gilbert Rugby Canada, Harbour Air, Trax, and the Dewari Group Jumpstart additionally for their support. We thank you very much for being able to make this happen, for the sponsors who help get players in the boots and on the field. Medical is away. Whistle has been blown. It looks like we're going back to this breakdown. And Ontario put in, sees Nathan Roberts once more putting into the scrum. They had a really stable scrum. They were able to build that platform to be able to just pass off of, which really is what they need right now to be able to make a stable exit. If that scrum will move 0 inches, that's a win for them. Allows them to pass to their backs and just get themselves out of a little bit of pressure, because the last thing you want to be doing is playing in front of your post, playing in this end, and it just builds and compounds potential for mistakes. Put in looks good. Scrum's not moving. A little bit of shift there. Oh, in BC favor, in Ontario favor. It's hard to tell at the moment. It's going, and the Ontarios get the pick off. It looks like it's Matt Fish having a run. Man of the match for Ontario last Wednesday. Absolute performance. And he carries his team from 5 meters out to the 22. He said, fine, I'll do it myself. Nice delivery there on the edge, fighting to stay in. Number 11, Prince Nadawake from Balmy Beach unfortunately just gets pushed into touch. A little bit argy-bargy. What's going on? What's happening here? Number 4, Regan O'Gorman having a little bit of beef with Nathan Roberts. Who knows what was going on? Maybe somebody was stepping on something. Somebody said something they didn't like. But that is not allowed here. Keep the passion, keep the emotion in play, not at each other. You are so welcome, Reese. Thanks for being here. I love the support. I do love yapping. I am a professional waffler. What can I say? But any excuse to get me out to watch a game of rugby is a good excuse to leave the house. Neil Traynor having a little bit of a whisper from West Black there. They're setting up this 5-man lineout, which was their bread and butter. Number 7, Owen Ratton, setting up in that insert. Expect a maul. At the back, from the top of the box, nice quick, and it's sacked. Ontario Blues defense, nice and strong, but the Bears get the penalty for pulling that maul to the ground. Ref said, nuh-uh, I don't like it. Nice quick breakdown, keep that ball moving. Lockie Kratz distributing, McMullen to McMullen. Ball goes to ground, and we are going back to the penalty. No dice, says the referee, no advantage coming. We are gonna set ourselves up on that maul spot. Handling has been great, nice touches. It has been enjoyable so far. I think the nature of this kind of this match out here in the sun, you know, shot has been called. Dakota McMullen stepping up, T on the field, looking to put an extra 3 points on the board from this about 35-meter position. The weather is great. And from my own experience playing at Shawnigan Lake, the turf is wonderful. It's soft, yet it's springy. It really allows for expansive play, a little bit more action, a little bit more, you know, expression, self-expression as individuals to come together as a whole and have a good, strong rugby mix. A hush falls over the crowd as Dakota sets himself up from the UBC Thunderbirds. The approach is good. Nice strong strike. He's got the distance, but he doesn't have the angle. It bounces out. Unfortunate. The extra 3 points is a miss. Ontario's looking to kick back. BC looking to receive. Once again, if you are not yet tired of hearing my voice, I am Zephyr Melnick. I'm bringing you this live stream. I usually do this through West Shore. You'll see the name in the chat. Do go check us out. We do Saturday live streams of our season. We also have some VODs. That's video on demand, all the boring stuff cut out, and some short form highlights. Nice high ball. Liam James underneath it. He collects. He's staying in at 1, 2, 3 to beat. He's fighting, and Ontario does drag him out of bounds. Great individual effort to get underneath that high ball from James. Unfortunately, 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defender. Too much for him as he gets dragged out as he's close to that touch line. If you were joining us today from Wednesday's stream or from Sunday's Tide versus Ontario, thank you so much for being part of this 3-legged journey. It's awesome to have this Canada Cup go on, have a little bit of provincial rivalry. We've got lots on the docket, lots of content coming up. We'll have those live streams cut up and produced for you. Do remember to just, you know, make sure you're following the page, subscribe if you aren't, and give it a like, because unfortunately, despite our regular viewers tuning in and watching for an extended period, watching almost the whole game, only about 14% of you are subscribed, and it just means that you're finding us from searches or external links, and it just makes it hard to stay on top when new things are happening. Nice stable scrum here, Ontario Blues put in. Nathan Roberts slides it up. Ball's looking like it's working its way to the back. We have Matt Fish digging in there, giving it up for Roberts. Roberts now producing, passionate, passing it out to Jack Gore. Jack Gore having a stab. No, Jack Gore gives it to Ince. Ince having a little bit of a spin around, a B-button action. Ball is getting produced. It might be slowing down in there. I'm not sure. A counter ruck from BC looks like it's slowing these Blues down. They're resorting to some pick and go action, some old school classic rugby. Build some phases, get a bit of confidence, build that chemistry back up after whatever just happened in that breakdown. Box kick from Roberts, inbound. Boom, over the top it goes, sailing center field. McMullen underneath it, he catches it, collects it. Dakota's having a little dance around, he distributes to James. Nope, that's Jack Shaw. Jack Shaw having a go on it. Lovely work from them, great connection. Ahala playing 9, West Black in the receiver spot, having a go. We do love a crash 10, even if it says 3 on the back of his jersey. Lachlan Kratz now distributing. Dakota with the chip. Nice, short. Oh, nice, it goes to hand, but it is gonna be a forward pass. Wonderful chemistry there, I love to see that. That is exhilarating. Joe Lock Dad watching live from Wales. Get him on the second half. Tell him to get his hair cut. I will absolutely pass that along, Mr. Lock. I personally am a big fan of long hair. However, he's your son. I ain't going to get in the way. I will just be the messenger. Don't shoot me, please. We do have another scrum here. It's going to be Ontario Blues. They have just been not necessarily dominant, but they've been the only one with these set pieces. So maybe that just goes to show BC's handling versus theirs. Regardless of the set piece outcome, though, I think BC's just been playing around a bit more with it, having a bit more open, expansive. They're trying chip overs, they're trying kicks, they're, trying to counterattack from every single angle of the field, keep the Blues pressured in their own 22. Roberts with the put in. Stable scrum. Whoa. BC looking to fight it. BC collapsing. Nope. The scrum collapses itself. Jack Gore to Ince. Ince now with it. Sorry. First one. He steps one. He goes. He gets another. Hands off to Prince Nadawake. He's going. Jack Shaw fighting him. He's offload. And it doesn't go. It goes to, and he dives in. That is number 14, Hudson Young, with that try. No dice. AR says out of bounds. Prince himself, despite that massive run at, despite that massive stiff arm on Jack Shaw, stepped maybe just a quarter inch out of bounds or into touch, and we're going to have that line out in BC's favor. A massive reversal. Oh, time off. Sorry about that. It really was a shame. Nice slice and dice from the backfield. Shame about the chip, absolutely. I got here nice and early. I was going to be doing the commentating for that BC Gold. BC Blue. Was excited for it myself. Had a nice little handy cheat sheet. I even had some fun facts, some individual clubs. We've got some representatives here all across BC, or at least for that Gold and that Blues game, and they were, I just wanted to highlight some of those individual women who are the only representatives of their club. Unfortunately, I think it's been tucked away in my side wallet here. I do have just my men's cheat sheet, so I will give you a quick little break. Individual clubs, first on our highlight, Timothy Zimmer for TWU Spartans, the only Spartans representative. Attaboy, Jack. Yeah, Jack, he ran him down. He was hungry for it, having a go. Looks like that might have been a stoppage for injury. And that is how you draw defenders. Absolutely. Was loving that. Great work. Just a quick reminder that this is an aggregate match. BC is up 24 points. So even with that, they are in a bit more of a comfortable position than the Blues. It doesn't mean it's over, though. It's not over till the final whistle blows and that trophy is awarded. Another standout for the Blues. Connor Williams, the only representative of the Ottawa Irish. Stolen by the Blues. Roberts in hand, fighting to keep it in bounds. Lovely work. He's producing out of the back. No 9 means that we're going to go to a nice, tight pick-and-go structure. Their Blues are driving through that line. They are 8 meters and then 5 meters. They're getting closer every single pick. Oh, chopped at that ankles. Great work there from number 7, Owen Rattan for the UBC Thunderbirds, stopping that Blues drive, but they just respond quickly. They're fighting down. Is it held up? Referee's digging around. She's having a look. She's seeing underneath. What is the verdict? And it is held up. Unfortunate there for the Blues. BC Bears were working vigorously to make sure that they were not scoring in that opportunity. Which club has the most players? Just a guy asks. I will let you know. I think it is a tight competition for the BC Bears between the UBC O and UBC Thunderbirds. Capilano with a few representatives. Ontario Blues, it's going to have to go to the Oakville Crusaders. They have their entire front row, fun fact, the entire front row of the Blues, Oakville Crusaders. Lachlan Kratz with this goal line dropout. Nice, strong, long boot over the top. It bobbles in the catch, but it goes backwards, finds a bit of grass. BC's quick up to force him inbounds and shut it down. Nice, strong, quick cover tackle. Skolin with it now, having a go, having a little bit of a jam with his shoulders. Roberts distributing. One more Stockwood. Chopped at the knees before he can build momentum. Roberts again, moving that. Ince now with it. Oh, shoulder battle against James. Fighting. distributes that, finds it back. The ruck is safe. Another go, number 7, who is that Grant Meadows for the Aurora Barbarians. Stolen by Wes Black. Whoo! Ouch, that stiff arm looked like it hurt. Wouldn't want that on my teeth. Quick, oh, fakie, but he's gonna have a go himself. Regan O'Gorman just putting in that work in the engine room. Absolute shift from the lock. Offload from the Carson there. Lockie Kratz having a little dance around, probing, seeing where he wants to go. He finds a gap, swips it over. Offload goes to hand. Hamish James having a go. Can he get it under the post? No, he can't. He just chooses or opts to dot it down softly, and he's celebrating with his team under the post there. You can see it. BC is excited. The Blues walking back, hand on their hips. They might not be super eager after that quick little breakthrough. Good hit, number 11. It was a nice, strong, solid hit. A little bit of a shoulder battle. It looked like both runners there were equal heights, and so it really just came down to who wanted to be more physical. After all, a lot of the contact is just a physics game. Whoever gets lowest wins. We saw it there with Stockwood's carry. He is a massive, absolute Goliath of a unit on the field, and you would not want to get in front of him when he's running full tilt. But if you can get at his ankles before he even builds that momentum, it's shut down city. Dakota McMullen for the UBC Thunderbirds taking this kick now. A little bit of chatter here from the crowd compared to his first kick. Big strike, an extra 2 points on the board. BC leads 14-0. BC already set up, eager to go. Blues returning from their side. Another individual club representative, Theo Espanol for the Pacific Pride. Heard through the rumor mill that he might be coming to West Shore next year. Would love to have you, buddy. If you watch this live stream back, you heard it here first. Zephyrs calling it. Theo, you're coming to West Shore, bud. Ontario Blues setting up here for this kickoff. Forwards, leaning left. Matt Fish on the edge, looking like he might be going up, contesting forward, or maybe he's just playing in the back. Scoop up that ball. Number 25, Josh Henry is on for the Blues, making a substitution. Sorry for whoever I missed during that. I am just running this as a one-man show. My regular co-host, Max Foote, is taking on that BC Bears manager position today. Ball is fighting. Number 7, Grant Meadows playing 9. Love it. BC Bears swarming that player. Cody Nahala, ball hands on. Blues penalty against Cody there. Having a little chat. Looks like the jackal might have been allowed, but something else got in the way of that. Jack Gore stepping up to kick it down the sideline, get that Blues line out set up just outside the Bears 22. Expect a maul setup coming here. A little bit of a maul probing attack, see what happens. Possible forward pass, but still sweet stuff. You're gonna have to fill me in on that. I might have missed it. It is hard to be omnipresent. Go Blues. Thank you, Robert Bailey. We do love our support. Happy that we're able to bring the Ontario supporters something to watch. It is a bit easier in BC as a BC supporter to get to these games. Neil Traynor unable to collect off that messy line out. It just goes forward a little bit. He put his body on the line, did that volleyball dive for it. Could not quite get to it. So we are going to go to an Ontario Blues scrum. Another standout for the Aurora Barbarians. The only representative for Aurora is Grant Meadows, playing at number 7. I don't know why I keep looking at this list, but for some reason that name is eluding me. I just look and my eyes glaze over it. Every other name I'm starting to lock in. I'm getting repetitive with it, but for some reason Grant Meadows, you're standout enough that it's struggling. Maybe I'm seeing the 7 on your back and I'm thinking it's an 8, or I think it's a 17. Could not tell you what it is. Boom, big hit. Can see the shift from here. It looks like both sides are a bit eager to go after each other. They're not just holding, they're not being stable. We saw some engage, some early push there. Now we're getting spun, getting pushed, no penalty. Ball's out, it's backwards, picked up by number 6, Arthur Green, who gives a nice long pass, bounces over. Ontario collects, that goes into Josh Henry. Josh Henry produces. Number 15, Brendan Black, throwing that ball towards his forward pack. But we're going to go to a knock on here. It looks like no advantage was coming, says the referee. We're going to go scrum down Blues ball. Feels almost like it might only be the Ontario Blues scrum today. I feel that there hasn't been that many BC put-ins. Could just be imagining it, could be wishful thinking. I'm not quite sure, but it is what it is. Another individual representative, Jack Shaw for the Castaways Wanderers, the only Castaway here today on this roster. Looks like we got another substitution, Henry Kerwin for James Bay, stepping on to sub off Liam James. Had an absolute quick, stellar performance there. Flew too high to the sun potentially with all those high balls. Some strong collisions from that winger. And it looks like he's just coming off, you know, preserve that body, take care of it. You don't want to push through something you don't need to. Well done, lad. Garen Schroeder, not Grant. I've got Garen Schroeder on my list at number 6. I could just have them backwards. They are in the back of the row. Maybe that is what it is. You just let me know they're Notorious Nib if you can get a real good picture on his face. Because again, I don't know these players personally, so I'm having a hard time putting face to names. Ooh, striking through, goes number 12, Jacob Ince. What a stab. Pod set up, Matt Fish leads. Ball goes backwards, the Justice picks it up. Sears Duru pushing it to the back of the ruck. Playing 9, number 3, Matt Tierney. Oh, penalty goes BC Bears' favor. Looks like Nahala was on that. Absolute stellar at the breakdown. Wednesday's performance, he had multiple turnovers, multiple runs, playing from the ground. Absolute stellar man of the match performance. He definitely earned it. We've seen some of that show through. He might not be as star-studded today. Could be fatigued, could be tired, could just want to let his team have a little bit of the limelight. But universally a well-adjusted player who is versatile no matter where you put him on the field. Beautiful day for some ruggers, absolutely. Like I was saying before, if you weren't at the beginning of the stream, is the weather is nice. A little bit of clouds to keep the heat at bay. Nice open pitch. Shawnigan Lake's always beautiful. It's a great place to host. And the conditions are just perfect for the second game of our aggregate 2026 Canada Cup competition. Trainer with the throw in, top of the box, Don Carson producing. Lockie Kratz now receiving that ball from McMullen. All the way out, Dakota now, Dakota McMullen with it, producing that ball, finding it to Jack Shaw, who's stepping in. He's having a go, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, you can't beat me, I'm on the floor. Nahala with it now, having a stab. Probes through one, does not beat the second. They're wrestling with his chest, trying to maybe force a maul here, stop him from going to ground. But he finds a knee on that pitch, gets that ball back, produces. Kratz now, missed offload, goes to the hands, and he's running. Unfortunate for the Blues there. That was a clean pickup. That counterattack there was definitely going to be a try, but we are going to go back for a offside call. I was so distracted by the run, I couldn't quite tell what was happening. Another player here, Brock Gallagher, representing Cowichan RFC, my old club. Love to see it. Love to see some piggies up in the BC Bears team. After all, a pig is a beautiful creature. Will eat everything, highly intelligent, can't wrestle it in the mud. You ever tried wrestling a pig? Don't do it. Doesn't end well for you, I'll tell you that much. Lockie Kratz taking this penalty here, trying to get the BC Bears nice and tight. It does not find the edge. The short kick goes to Roberts. Roberts boots that nice and high, and it goes straight off the park. We are going to have a line out in the Bears' favor just outside half. Once again, I just want to see where you guys are coming from. One of the things that I love doing about these live streams is figuring out where people are from, figuring out how people watch. After all, we all love rugby, but we all watch it differently. Only 46% of our regular viewers are Canadian. I want to know where the rest of y'all are from. Are you watching your sons and daughters as they are on as they're playing as imports? What is it? You let me know. I'll read out those comments from the live chat. McMullen now with the ball, having a center crash himself in that Big 12 jersey. Producing that ball, Lockie Kratz kicking it nice and high. A little bit of competition coming in. Oh, step. They're playing Plinko with it. Prince again. Nottawake fighting to stay in. He's got 3 on him. Doesn't quite stay in. Goes out of bounds. It looked like he might have just tried to get that ball straight off his chest right as he was being dragged out. Props to him. He's a strong runner. We saw it earlier in their almost try. I do believe Ontario needs to get that man the ball just a little bit more. Chicago, love to see it, absolutely. Lucas Rumble, I recognize that name, Canadian homegrown, visited in Chicago, setting roots down in Chicago, is that what it is? Regardless, in our analytics, I'm sure you pop up not Canadian, which is really all it gives us. Ref, no dice, saying it's a little too wide, telling BC Bears to step it in. West Black setting that size, moving in just in a couple inches. Nice long ball from trainer Don Carson off the top, down to Billy Wickham. Wickham producing that ball. McMullen having a stab. McMullen offloading it. Green having a little bit of a rumble himself as he crashes through, gets taken down finally by two of those Blues defenders, and they turn it over. Look away for half a second to check my team sheet, and things just happen. Beautiful game of rugby that things can happen on the drop of a dime like that. On that far edge, couldn't quite tell you who was going in, did not see that jersey number. Pushing that off, having a stab, bounces out, and they crash on through. Love to see it. Turned over again. Wickham with it. Skolin taking that chip kick. He's saying, nah, you're not probing us like that. You're not attacking. No, thank you. We're going to go back to the knock-on. Initial knock-on Bears, secondary knock-on Blues. It's going to be a Blues put in at scrum time. Blues, Jaden John represent. Damn, the handling game was fun while it lasted. Well, you see, that's the problem. When the weather gets nice and warm and you start having fun and you succeed while having fun, you think you can do more than you've earned. And when that happens, well, you just start throwing it, you start kicking it, you start doing things that don't necessarily work. You react instead of decide. So if your decision is to throw that extra offload, if your decision is to do the chip kick, if your decision is to have, that inside crash, I think that's where you start to excel as opposed to reactionary. A little bit of color commentary. I'm getting a little bit of whisper here. You want to join on the mic? We got a second one. Join me, please. Absolutely save me. A little bit of a PA action. You doing a live stream here? Hi, my name's Zephyr. What's your name, friend? Graham Turner. We got Graham Turner on the mic. Looks like he might be being thrust upon the PA system. Have at it. Excite the crowds.
That's a tall ask, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. I know. They're already excited here.
They are excited. Great crowd here today. Lovely day for it.
It's phenomenal. So far with this, I've been just trying to keep a track of it, keep everybody engaged. Who do you think are maybe some standouts so far just from this first 32 minutes?
I'd say Lockie Kratz for BC has managed the game really well. Obviously created the second BC try down here on the near side. The Ontario forwards look like they're trying to get into gear a little bit, losing the territory battle for the most part. But who knows? Second half, long bench.
That's fair. We do have 11 substitutions in this series as opposed to the regular 8. Just gives a bit more extra leeway to try people out in positions and rest those bodies. Touching on the Blues forward pack, they have had a lot of scrums, but I don't seem like they are necessarily dominating or excelling as a unit yet. What do you think is missing?
Well, the first game at Capilano on Wednesday, you felt like the set piece advantage as Dakota McMullen goes wide there. The set piece advantage was firmly with the Blues in the scrum, and with an unchanged front row for the Blues, it's surprising that they haven't had that dominance so far.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because, like I said, in the first 20 minutes of that Capilano match, the Blues were drawing penalties, they were pushing up the Bears, they were popping them up and just walking that front row of the Bears. But now it seems like they've settled down, and with no changes, one wonders what happened.
Could be a long trip back to Shawnigan Lake on Wednesday, and third match of the tour. As Talon McMullen carries it in.
Nice.
It's just unrelenting here from BC, territory and possession wise, and I'm not sure how much more resolve Ontario is going to show necessarily.
Absolutely. Relenting is a great word. Great example of that. Cody Nahalaja himself having an unrelenting run into that Blues defense. A little bit of argy-bargy. The penalty goes Blues' way for holding on or not releasing is the call. Watching my nephew, number 7 from Ontario, Timmins, Ontario. Is that Grant Meadows or Garen Schroeder? We had this earlier in the chat. Which one is correct on my game sheet? We are setting up Blues. Jack Gore from the Crusaders having a little bit of a kick, having a little bit of a probe here, setting up this Blues line out just inside the Bears half.
It feels like with about maybe 7-8 minutes to go left in this half, I think the clock's a little fast. The Blues need to get on the scoreboard here before halftime.
And I mean, we saw it earlier with Prince's run down the sideline, a super strong runner. They had that break, he had a strong stiff arm, and just unfortunate they could not convert. Any more opportunities like that, and I think that's just what's going to seal the deal.
Feels like all the breaks that Ontario have had have been through the 15-meter channels on either side, and I wonder if they're going to try to go to that more. It looks like the ball might be stuck in the maul there.
Yeah, strong maul from Ontario. David Skolin himself at the back, throwing that in and just saying, "Nuh-uh, this maul is driving." Jacobin stepping back inside, meeting Cody Nahala for that chest battle, producing that ball.
Just a little bit aimless on attack there. Don't really know that they look like they know what they want to do.
It looks like, because they had that maul, they had gained a few meters off it, successful, and instead of looping the forwards, they kind of just went back and forth within the 15, and it didn't feel like a blindside attack, and it didn't feel like an open side attack. Counter ruck there from Don Carson disrupts the Blues ruck.
Slow ball here. This is when you think they might want to put up a contestable kick or something. Dakota's back there by himself. There's lots of space on the far side.
And we've seen them do it earlier. Oh, and the knock on from Skolin, unfortunate. I do think, like you mentioned, the contestable kick was probably a smart choice there with the ball slowing down, middle of the pitch like that. Hard to defend from the Bears. We saw them do it earlier with a slow ruck, and maybe their decision-making just wasn't in that mindset.
I think the Bears probably from here until the end of the half will just look to get in the Blues end, keep territory advantage, and look to just kind of stay into halftime.
Just reading the live chat here, the tenacity from both sides is creating a lot of turnovers. I would absolutely agree, and I would, I'm more of a positive guy. I'm an optimist. I want to err on the side that the tenacity from the defensive side is what's causing the turnovers as opposed to errors from the offensive side, but that remains to be seen. A little bit of stoppage here. Did you catch what it was?
It looks like two guys are tying their shoes. Maybe 3 Blues forwards are on a knee right now.
It's hard. I mean, we mentioned it earlier, that Wednesday game was long. I wasn't home till about 2:30 a.m., and I'm just part of the live stream crew. I can't imagine how it was playing, and Shawnigan Lake's been hosting these Blues. It's just been a little tough.
It's a long week when you play 3 games in 8 days, was it, or 7 days? It's just, a squad, a traveling squad.
I think it was
of 28.
even 6. They played tied on Sunday.
That's right.
Then they played Bears in the first match on Wednesday, and then they played again today. And yes, we've got those 11 substitutions, and I think the tied one might have even had 12. Regardless, though, even with all the smart decisions on keeping bodies healthy, that is tough.
It is tough. I mean, rugby games are a pretty physically exertive way to spend your time, and 3 games in 6 days is a tall order, and I'm glad that the Blues obviously came out here. This is fantastic. We should do this more often. At the same time, with 28 guys on tour, you're going into the last half of the tour here. It can be tough to keep spirits high.
Absolutely. However, I do hope that a lot of these individuals recognize that this is the opportune position to dump the clip, drop the tank, pedal to the metal. If you got it left in you, put it on the field now.
Lockie and Dakota stacked behind the scrum. They're going to look to see which side has a numerical advantage, assuming they get the ball out.
There we go. That's the Blue scrum. We saw a little bit of argy-bargy going on. Number 6 there, and I've been confirmed by Timothy Matthews. 6 is actually Meadows as opposed to Garen Schroeder. A little bit of a mix-up on the run sheet there. My apologies. But the argy-bargy has calmed down. We're going to go to a Blues kick, trying to put themselves closer to the Bears' try line.
Jack Gore needs a good kick here. I imagine the Blues will look to maul, and they need something on the scoreboard here before halftime.
Absolutely. I do reckon Jack Gore has had a really good boot so far, and he had a great one on Wednesday. If they can get themselves a try with a converted 2 points, it gets them into a position where they can start taking those penalties and kicking for points, playing that 3-point game. Whether or not that's on their docket from their coaching staff, considering the aggregate 24 points they need to make up, who knows? But he's got a good enough boot that I reckon they could back him.
I think this is probably the Blues' second best chance of the half, besides the knock-on that they had on the goal line, but they need to win this line-out, which they've done.
They got
going
that
to
maul
the maul
set.
as predicted.
Nice, strong maul. Really, that maul is decided. If you can get it set before the other team can sack or rip you down, it has a tendency to march forward, especially with the Blues pack being as heavy as they are. Nice, strong, quick ball from Roberts.
If they can go around the corner here, keep possession. Looks like they'll go back for the penalty.
Yeah.
But you see that far area of the field, Jack Shaw's by himself. Hamish Shane's a little bit narrower. That's the area that the Blues need to attack.
Absolutely. Their pack is so big that it's just drawing those players in. We saw it with that scrum penalty just ago, and we saw it with that maul. And the fact that Roberts can get that ball out of that maul once it's down as quick as he did, I think goes to show that the players are, they want to play fast.
No prizes for guessing what the Blues are going to look to do here, but it'll be interesting to see if BC will go up and contest this line out, considering they've stolen a couple already, but then that could also make the maul defense a little bit more scattered.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a risk as players. If you want to contest, you have to contest and you have to steal it. Because if you're down 3 players and they set that maul early, they're just going to drive over you.
It's a gamble.
Here we go. Skolin with the throw-in. Nice front ball, and
Regan
they steal it.
O'Gorman.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, sorry. Arthur Green.
Nice high kick there from Wickham. Oh, fighting. Somebody's tackling somebody without a ball, I see. Don't think the ref caught it, but that's okay. We're just spectating. Lockie Kratz with the ball, giving it to McMullen. McMullen there.
Great hands.
Out to Janes. Jack Shaw on the wing, stepping back inside, saying, "You're not taking me into touch." He has a go, beats one, taken down by the second.
And the Bears are going to look to attack second layer. Lots of space in that right-hand corner. Looking
It
for the
finds
50-22.
grass. It's still bouncing. Does it go into the end zone? Does it pull up short? It pulls up a little short. Big strike back from Jack Gore on the Blues. Ends that kicking contest at about the 40-meter mark, just inside the 40-meter mark, maybe even closer to the 22 in BC Bears' favor.
Owen Rattan throwing a scrum cap away as he's wont to do, but even that little exchange was a massive territory gain for the BC Bears, defending the line out from their 5-meter line, winning without a boost, being able to have a huge Talon McMullen clearing kick into that right-hand corner, and this is the exact opposite of what the Blues will want to see.
Great identity there from the Bears to just let their individuals do what they do best, steal that line out from the forwards, and then those backs get them into the kicking battle. Bears line out, opting for that 5-man. They do have a 7 as their slot in.
And it's odd to me that the Blues have chosen not to defend the back ball at all today, considering the BC Bears must be going to that at about a 70 to 80% clip right now with Don Carson in the back of the lineup.
And I mean, it just keeps working. They keep throwing to the back, and it keeps working. Unfortunate penalty for crossing there. Just a little offside call against the Bears means that the Blues are going to have another opportunity for relief to get out of their own end.
It's the same story, though. I mean, we're talking about 5 minutes ago, need a good kick from Jack Gore here and look to get some points on the board, but the Blues just can't quite find that last gear to actually score some points here.
Nuh-uh. It's starting to feel like the Bears are just setting this tempo. The Bears are attacking how they want, they're defending how they want. Yes, maybe they get a penalty and it gives the Ontario Blues an opportunity to kick down, but then the BC Bears are just going to reset and keep attacking. Bears already set. Blues taking their time in the walk-up here. It looks like they're opting for a 6-man line-out. Nope, 5-man with Stockwood in the slot. Expect them all. Hands on, fair contest.
Closing the gap in the jump.
Ouch. You're allowed to jump and lean for it, but if your team throws you across that channel, it's a half meter, it's just going to be a no-go. It is a penalty. This is the opportunity right here. We were at the Bears, or at the Blues, sorry, 22. Jack Gore kicks him down to half. They get that line-out penalty. Jack Gore kicks him within 10 meters now to the Bears try line. If there ever was a moment to convert, it would be right now.
42.5 minutes on the clock, which means this should be the
final
last
phase
or second to last play of the half.
Is coming up.
James Stockwood at the back. They're going to maul this. Can't win it cleanly.
Ooh. Tough to see. Stockwood decided to have a go himself, backed by his boys in blue. The Bears bring him down. They're all set. They're in the 3-point stance. You're not letting them go. Chopped at the ankles. Well done by Trainer. Having another go. The Blues are looking to just play this forward pod, get the crash in, get the support early. Skolin himself having a stab, but backed by Daruru.
Even though they're keeping it tight, that ball is slow right now.
Oh.
And if the Blues do want to get across the try line, they're going to have to speed up the recycle, because now they're going to the backs, but the BC Bears line is fully set.
Already
and
shut
there's
down.
no space back there.
Hudson Young having a stab because he's kind of was just isolated there. The BC Bears were in his face early, but a penalty goes in the Blues' favor. You have to convert here, Blues. What are you going to do? You're going to take your 3 points? Are we kicking for the sideline, having another line out? Looks like they're opting for the line out. Jack Gore taking this kick, having a stab.
This is where the aggregate comes into play, because if you're, only 14-0 down, that ball's going to stay. Oh, no, it's not. If you're only 14-0 down, maybe you take the 3, go back into the sheds. But considering it's a 24-point aggregate, you have to go for the try.
They've got a marathon of distance to cover in this second half. Really unfortunate. Just a quick reminder, if you like what we're doing up here, if you like more BC streams, if you want to see more club streams, do remember to subscribe. It's the easiest way. It's also free. Easiest way to support a channel like this and support growing grassroots rugby. Maul set. Matt Fish at the back taking it. Skolin piling in. Finding ground. Looks like their momentum has stopped. The rest of the Blues forwards have piled in there. Looks like it's a full 8-on-8 Maul now. They're fighting. Inches. Roberts distributing. Ince having a crash, taking on 3 defenders. Backed by Young.
Slow ball.
The Justice having to go himself. He's saying, I want that white line. I want that try. He gets shut down, losing that chest battle, unfortunate.
But again, this is slow ball. The backs are set. Jack Shaw's going for the intercept. That might be just calling it a knock-on.
It did look pretty honest. He was underneath it. And that is our halftime. BC Bears lead 14-0. We're hearing a little bit of maybe that should have been a yellow. I don't know if that's necessarily because his hands were underneath. It was an honest attempt to catch, and that's what referees are looking for. Thank you for being here. We are going to be right back. We're going to have some analysis, some questions for you, a little bit of an interview. We're going to have some fun action. Thank you very much.
That's the halftime with the BC Bears 14 and Ontario Blues 0. BC Rugby thanks all of our partners and sponsors for their continued effort and support to help grow rugby.
They say it's better to step and fall than to not have stepped at all. So here we are, Vancouver Island. This is going to be my home for the next few years. I've been told it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. My parents told me to engage in every opportunity that comes my way, to grow in self-discovery, to step, to fall, better than to not have stepped at all. Beautiful British Columbia, home of Shawnigan Lake School.
What do you look for in a boarding school?
Strong academic support.
Beautiful surroundings.
A sense of belonging.
1, 2, 3, break! Leadership. Innovation.
Experiential learning.
Look no further. Start your Shawnigan journey today.
welcome back. I'm Jake Teal. I'm here joined by Marius Felix. Marius, how are you enjoying the game so far?
Well, great. A match that's been long overdue. This series has been long overdue in Canadian rugby, so clearly delighted that BC and Ontario playing meaningful rugby at the senior level again, and long may that continue. We will make sure that this continues to happen year over year.
Yeah, and especially with the World Cup upcoming, what does this probably mean to these players? You've played, I believe you played for the Bears. You might have represented the Bears back in a game like this. So
yes, a few times,
many years with a layoff. What does it mean, especially for these Canadian coaches, to have the opportunity to see these players in the high-level environment?
Yeah, so pardon me, it's a great question. So what Stephen Meehan needs, pardon me, what Stephen Meehan needs more than anything else is a deep player pool. And that has not been developed for too many years. So what it means for these players is some of them will get identified. They may go to the World Cup, but it's really the 22, 23, 24-year-old guys. You remember that when you were that age, wasn't too long ago. They are going to get an opportunity to get a chance to play at the next World Cup. If we get benefit out of this for the World Cup upcoming, great. But it's really the long game that we're trying to play here. We're very grateful for BC Rugby to buy into this concept. It's not a new concept. BC and Ontario used to play every year for ages, and Canada were pretty good back then. Your dad played in those games. I played in those games, and boy, oh boy, that was tough rugby. Steel sharpens steel, and that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah, best on best. Okay, before I let you go, any tips, any changes you'd make if you're on that Ontario team?
I'm going to let Phil do the coaching. He's a hell of a good coach and a good guy, and I'm going to let him do his job and stay out of the coaching game.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Mary.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back. Jake Teal here. I'm joined by BC Rugby President Tony Payne. Tony, are you enjoying what you're seeing out here?
I love the rugby today. It's really good to see these guys out there putting everything on the line. And really with the Blues out here and playing in BC, it's a real good thing for rugby to happen in Canada.
And what does this mean, a game like this where you have some of the best players in both BC and Ontario showcasing what they're able to do? What does that mean to our union and also just to rugby in general in Canada, especially on the men's side?
Yeah, it's really been long overdue, and just having two top unions play against each other, showcasing our talent, it's going to be good news for Rugby Canada in the future. And I hope that this becomes an annual game going forward.
Well, you stole my next question. I was going to say, surely, Tony, we get this keep this going because I need the commentating job. So, I think it's really been credit to BC Rugby and credit to you for getting this off the ground. But I'll leave you with the last question. BC, we've been doing pretty good. We're in the lead right now. Anything you change? You're in that coaching box on the field.
We in the lead. Keep that going. Keep the passion going, and good luck.
Yeah, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you very much.
We are joined by another co-host.
Another one.
Standing there. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Christian Esterreisen.
here, joined by my ex-coach and good friend. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Christian Esterhuizen.
Perfect. He is Pacific Pride coach, more recently the Sevens coach, as well as the Canada U20s coach. But enough about Canada stuff. We're here to talk about BC Bears versus Ontario Blues. What did you think of the match so far today?
Yeah, it's an interesting match so far. The Ontario Blues, obviously, they rely on their tight five and that maul to get going, and I don't think they're getting the reward from that. You know, either they lose the line out, or when they get the maul going, the ball gets out slowly. So the BC defense is up for that, and Cody is over that ball every time, slowing it down. So I think they need to try and speed it up a bit, or be a little bit more creative at line-out time, because that's their strength. And if they can get that going, it's
a little bit more creativity would be good, because like we've seen, they've gotten some penalties, they've had some good scrums, they've had some good line-outs, and they just haven't been able to convert it. And like you're saying, that creativity piece of allowing maybe individuals to step up a little bit and actually excel in what they do.
And the BC team with Lockie and the McMullins, they can hurt you when you make a mistake and they make
and
a
they're capitalizing. And maybe that's a great example for the first half, is that BC's capitalizing where maybe the Blues are not.
Absolutely, yeah.
Coming up this summer, you were talking to me earlier, you've got the Canada U20s on your docket. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so we're preparing for the World Challengers Series. It's a tournament in Chile in October. Exciting teams, Belgium, Namibia, Portugal, countries like that. So we've got a camp in August, and then we're going to be off in October for that tournament.
That sounds really exciting. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me, and I'm sure we'll talk more off stream. Anyway, the Bears are taking the field again. We'll get right back to that BC Bears Ontario Blues actions. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks. And we are back. The Ontario Blues now taking the field ahead of this second half of the Canada Cup second match. Just reading the chat here, a little bit of touch on with that great maul defense to the BC with the Ontario wraparound looking a little light. We did talk about that in our interview, that maybe the Blues aren't excelling in their individual moments. Marcus Felix the Cat. I don't quite know what that means, but that's okay. Lockie Kratz here with the kickoff. Sorry about the wind. It is just howling through our mic. It is ripping my ears apart, maybe making it hard for you to hear me, but I'm just going to talk a little bit louder. Number 14 taking that crash in. What do we got here? Pulling up my roster. Jack Gore having that pocket ball, throwing it out. It's found the wings now. Stepping back inside, Ontario Blues fighting eagerly to stay in bounds. That was one problem that they had in that first half. The Justice having a stab, having a crash himself. Whistle goes. What are you eager here to see in the second half?
I think Ontario just needs to throw the ball around and take as many risks as they can. I mean, they're down on the scoreboard. They're down on aggregate. They have 40 minutes left. I liked how they were expansive there on first phase, which we haven't seen a lot of today, but they need to retain the ball. Great carry by DJ, but that's been the thing that's letting them down, is they're just getting beaten at the breakdown.
Just a little bit tough. Like that, like you mentioned, that first phase in this first half for the Blues, phenomenal. Pull balls, skip passes, like they were connected. They maybe had a bit more chemistry after that halftime talk, whatever was said in those change rooms. And here's hoping that they do just play around with it a bit more.
So BC line out, Brendan Beck, I believe, on the field from James Bay. He's going to be the +1, so that means it's going to be a maul sacked well by Ontario.
Great momentum there. Beck himself with 6 turnovers on Wednesday. Absolute star-studded workhorse, versatile player. A high tackle penalty goes in BC's favor right in front of the posts. Over-unders, taking this kick, kicking for touch. What would you do in that position?
Take the points, slow the game down, which is what it looks like Dakota McMullen's going to do. I think it's smart. I mean, you're going to take some time off the clock here, add another 3 points, and Ontario's path to winning just looks further and further away.
It really does. It's unfortunate because these kind of interprovincial competitions, you really want tighter games. You want more competition. Maybe not necessarily tighter games, but higher competition. It elevates every player involved in terms of programs, pathways, and development. And so when one team runs away with it, it's a bit unfortunate.
And it's been notable how different BC's strategy was in the first 15 minutes of the game on Wednesday to what we're seeing today, which is a lot more kicking, a lot more contestables. I know Coach Hitchborn wanted to play from everyone on the field with the senior players and experience they had. You know, Billy and Lockie at 9 and 10, just sort of saying, hey, let's go play down in their end. Today's been a lot more territorial and just taking away any chance that Ontario has back into this series.
Absolutely. Strong kicking game. And I don't think BC's played in their end, like, at all today.
Couple chances, that 5-meter goal line stand, a couple lineouts they had, but
as soon as they get that ball, they're booting it away. They're saying, no, we're not playing in our 5, which makes a little bit of sense. I had the pleasure of talking with some of the lads on the ferry ride back on Wednesday, and they were saying that Curry Hitchborn was telling the back 3 at least to just counterattack from everywhere. If you think kicking's good, okay, but just run, have a stab.
I don't know that I keep kicking these kickoffs to Talon McMullen.
No, it doesn't seem to be working. A little bit of insanity, maybe trying the same thing over and over again, and it proves that it's not working. Seems to be a similar scenario for the Blues, as they've got a game structure, and it's probably really well drilled and very structured, and then when it doesn't work, they try it again and again and again, and unfortunately they're not getting away with it. BC's identified maybe the weaknesses, and they're chipping through that armor. Skolin with the throw-in, nice high ball. Blues maul set.
Sort of been the only thing that's worked for them today has been this maul.
Absolutely. I really wish they could capitalize a bit more off of it, maybe get a few more meters or be able to break away. Ball gets turned over and then knocked on.
Every time Ontario does go through that maul, you can see 10, 12, 13 for BC, sort of getting a little bit narrower. Feels like the space for Ontario is probably outside that 13 channel. Jack Shaw's doing a good job of staying wide, but all of the Ontario backs are just looking at that maul going forward instead of calling for the ball, identifying that space, and taking some risks.
Yeah, which is a little bit tough because that, like, maybe I'm reimagining from that first half, but I feel like a lot of those mauls end up getting pushed sideways or spun, or they just collapse in a non-advantageous position for the Blues. And if they could maybe break off or have that hooker Skolin at the back say, I'm going on my own maul, and divert the maul into a forward direction, they might have a bit more success with it.
100%. So as you can see here, the space between 13 and 14, Hamish James and Jack Shaw, that's where, if I'm Ontario, I'm going to look to attack with Brendan Beck playing 15. But they haven't done that. They've gone to Jacobins for the most part, carrying, and then looking to get the forwards around the corner.
And I like that you bring up the field position, because if we look at Ince and then we look at McMullen, they're pretty well mirroring each other. You know, they're both playing 12, they're both having a stab at each other, and having that run, having that chest battle, if it's not working, it's not working. And finding that gap inside Jack Shaw might be that weakness that needs to get cracked open.
And you can tell the positioning of the Blues left wing is probably not going to be an out the back play, which just means that BC can play, 4-on-5 here, which is a lot easier to defend. That winger's kind of walking around, but he's not really interested in engage with the play. No. If he's stacked behind 10, that's a little bit of a different look.
To me, he looks like maybe he's trying to convey that a blindside option is still on, but his body language is telling me that no blindside play is coming.
It looks like he's just trying to get his steps in. I don't know if he's wearing a Fitbit or not, but I think that's the only purpose.
He's got it taped around his ankle.
Something like that.
Yeah. Double step, double motors. Third scrum is no good. Penalty in BC's favor. I don't think Ontario was able to hold their weight, or maybe it was an early knee on the ground. Whatever that penalty might be.
That's going to be disappointing for Ontario, who, again, had such good set-piece supremacy on Wednesday night and really haven't looked at Joe Law coming onto the field now.
Wonderful work. Emerson Pryor coming, never mind, Emerson Pryor's not coming off. That was my first thought. Pryor is not a back row. Locke is more traditionally in that flanker position. Locke's going to substitute on for, I believe, that is Green.
I believe that's Green. Stephen Webb coming onto the field. I imagine he'll go at 9, and I believe Will Kelly as well. I imagine he might go to 10.
Great shift from Roberts there. He's been at every breakdown. He's able to distribute for the Ontario side. Unfortunately, I think he might be helming an empty ship. Kratz with that kick, nice and long.
That's a great kick.
Inches out of bound. Puts BC just outside of Ontario's 22.
Lockie with the whole Kratz family here today, Gavin, his brother, and the rest, mom, dad, everybody else. So he'll be wanting to play well, show well for the Kratz clan.
Absolutely. I always play best when my family's watching.
So BC will look to go, there's no scrum half at the back, which is curious.
Ontario gets a finger on that ball, disrupts that line out. Diving onto it looks like the number 4, Dylan Goose. for Ontario. Pull ball, skips Ince. BC shoots with Jack Shaw, and they shut him down early. Risky play paid off. Over the top. Does it find grass? Straight out of bounds, right next to the trophy. It's going to be a BC line out just inside the Blues half.
That should be straight out because it was taken back behind the 22.
That's what I thought. Taken back inside.
Regan O'Gorman looking to go quickly. I think the
Passions are high, emotions are high. People are yelling, coaches are yelling, players are yelling. The refs are saying, hey, we are making this decision here. And the final decision looks to be a BC line out inside Blues 22.
So you would think an experienced player like Will Kelly, you know, he's just on the field. Maybe the juices are running, juices are flowing, the juices are everywhere. But he's got to keep Ontario in good field position.
Yeah, a little bit tough. Could blame it on the wind, blame it on the shoelaces, whatever it might be. But regardless, you can't have that ball kicked straight out. Joe Locke in the position. We're going to go for a not straight call, which is the Blues.
I don't know if Ontario necessarily contested that, which I'm curious to know why she called it not straight, but that's above my pay grade.
Exactly. We're just here to watch. We're here to waffle. We're here to yap. Speaking of yapping, if you're in the live chat, please do let me know when you like watching rugby. I've had a quick glance at the analytics last night, and it looks like Thursday mornings are the peak. So we've got some videos on demand. That's just a fun cut-up, pure action from that Tide Blues and BC Bears Blues match. So all that stoppage, all that dead time cut out, nice, concise 50, 60 minutes for you. Let me know if Thursday morning's that best day to get it to you.
All the Ontario backs here, for the most part, are in about a 15-meter width.
We got a bent arm to the Blues for an early push, early engage coming across.
I don't know if Will Kelly will look to clear his lines here or look to put a contestable kick up.
Has he realized it's a bent arm? Nice long straight kick. It stays in bounds. Great work from Dakota there to keep it in. Joe Locke having his first stab at it, having a little bit of a chest battle. That man's got some strong hamstrings. He probably goes down to a butcher, gets a new one every single week. He's taking 3, 4, 5 guys to take him down. He's bouncing around, finding a move.
Joe Locke looking like a prime Aaron Ramsey, Welsh football player, soccer player with his footballing skills there.
Well, the Welsh must play soccer differently than how we play soccer. I don't use my shoulders.
Joe Locke doesn't really play soccer at all.
Blues attempting to steal that ball, no good. Lockie having a stab, offloads to Joe Locke, having a second touch on that ball. Your dad says, get a haircut, son. Number 9, having a stab, pushing through. First time the Bears have really touched the ball. Cody Nahala with the B button, spinning out of that stab. He's going, he's got 2 on him. He
10 bucks
for
says
the
it doesn't
contact.
pass.
Drags it down, support is there early. We're quick to distribute. Talon having a go, spinning around and diving down for 5 points for the Bears.
The difference in the speed of the ball for BC against Ontario is night and day. I mean, BC are not necessarily playing a highly structured game, but the recycle, the breakdown is quick. Ontario kind of look like a little bit stuck in the mud right now.
I think just the fact off of that breakdown, Cody had that break, he got down, he produced that ball, and the ball was out as BC Bears were running forward. There was no backtracking, there was no slowing of momentum. Everything was synced well.
So Dakota will look to add the extras here. Scoreboard ticks over, 22, maybe 24 after the kick, and the cup there at the bottom of the screen is looking a little bit further and further away.
Every minute passes, but I think the hopes of the Blues gets further and further away.
So it looks like Talon McMullen and Billy Wickham have come off the field. Great shift by those 2 guys.
Over 15 meters has to be straight on that throw-in. I mean, it was at the back of the lineout. I thought it looked kind of straight. Again, we are on an angle up here in the spectator booth. Maybe it wasn't. Great run from Nahala there. Absolutely. He has been star-studded this competition.
Looks like Theo Espinal on the field, Gabe Casey, I believe, and I didn't catch the third guy who came on.
Some substitutions, love to see that. Gabe Casey representing UVic Vikes is the only Vikes here today, and Theo Espinal, like we mentioned before, the only Pacific Pride member. High ball doesn't quite go to hands, but it's collected as it goes backwards. Bears inching forward, crawling along that ground, producing now. Theo with the first, Wes Black with the touch on it, sorry about that.
The pride of Kamloops.
Absolutely.
Quick ball again. Cody looks for another run.
They're having a go. They're having some fun with it looks like.
Brock Gallagher on the field for Billy Wickham. And now Ontario's shorthanded if they go flow.
Still cutting around the back. Bears a little bit flat on that, forcing Kratz to run. Offload doesn't quite go to Theo, but it does go to McMullen. Brock dancing around. He's got his Kevin Bacon shoes on. He's spinning. He's producing that ball. Talon with that pass. Pryor in the backfield playing in the pocket. We'd love to see that from our front row. Gallagher again producing. Casey now. Or nope, that was McMullen there pulling it through.
It was the first time today BC looked a little bit aimless on attack, maybe just excited to play with the ball and not necessarily super structured, which is fine. I wonder if Lockie will look back at that and want to maybe put up a contestable kick or clear their lines a little bit.
I think so. Maybe it has to do with the substitutions coming on. We just kind of dumped the bench. We have another one coming in, Timothy Zimmer there for the TWU Spartans. Lots of fresh legs. Could also mean, you know, maybe the chemistry hasn't quite clicked. They're not playing at the same pace. But that short side attack that was on our side that we could see clearly, it looked like they were flat. It was hard to tell who was on attack, who was on defense. You know, you need a bit more depth when you are attacking.
So Theo Espanol here is going to hooker. Big Zim Zim, loose head prop. The pride of TWU, you know, he has God on his side, so that's great.
An absolute Spartan. Lovely fella. I had dinner with him on Wednesday after the match.
What'd you guys have?
We had a beef cheese pasta with a Caesar salad. It was really tasty. I couldn't quite tell you what the salad was, but the pasta, but it was cheesy. It was beefy. I liked it.
Cheesy and beefy.
Can't go wrong with that. A little bit of a loose ball ends up in the Bears' hands. Number 5, Don Carson. Does he get that offload? He does to Gallagher. No 9 means that Theo is playing 9. Distributes to Kratz. Kratz is deciding to have a go himself. He looked like he might be kicking there, but he's shut down early by the Blues. He still gets that offload off, maybe just forcing a little bit much here. Bears knock on, Blues scrum.
And no breakdown there because it was tackle, no contest for Ontario, so the lazy runner doesn't really come into play because there's no offside line. And BC have sort of been stuck in this kind of middle third of the field here.
They keep going side to side.
Keep going side to side. Again, I wonder if Lockie or Gabe Casey are going to look, when they get the ball back, to put up a kick. But this is a very tough position for BC to defend. Right in the middle of the field, options either side for Ontario. I wonder which way they will choose to go. Probably to the left.
Yeah, I think maybe BC needs to slow it down a little bit. Instead of going for those offloads or those extra runners, taking a few hit-ups, build, 3-4 phases before you go. Because all those extra movements, all those extra plays, all those extra, offloads are just going side to side.
So Ontario with 4 backs to the left, 2 backs to the right. BC lining up 3 and 2 with Dakota in the back sort of splitting the field. If I was Ontario, I'd probably go to the left-hand side and try and take advantage of that numerical advantage, but it'll be Stephen Webb's decision.
Honestly, what I would be super eager to see here is the Ontario Blues fullback having a probing attack as he swings around that left, maybe slot in somewhere in that back line. Like you said, we've got 4 Blues on the left versus the 2 on the right.
Well, you would like to see the pride of Oakville, Brendan Black, look to do something, create something. International experience, professional rugby experience, being a little bit quiet over these last 2 games. Feels like he has more to offer. Maybe we'll see it right here.
We're going right. Bears with double the amount of numbers.
And we did.
On it, but it does not matter. They break through. They get the offload again, and it bobbles. Backwards, says the referee. Nahala with it, offloading to Locke. A little bit risky in front of their own touch line there, try line there.
Dakota will look to clear.
There we go. And that's the difference, I think. I think that series of play could summarize this entire Blues versus Bears match. When the Bears get into those troubles, they just get out.
Joe Locke with a little bit of veteran experience there. Maybe an early tackle on Stephen Webb, but I'll leave that for the referees to decide.
Exactly. We're just here to commentate. We're here to watch, not here to officiate. Big thank you to the refs. Big thank you to our sponsors as well to be able to make this happen. We'll have those sponsors down below in the description. I'll also give a readout at the end. Without them, without that money, we couldn't have grassroots rugby.
So Ontario with the +1, no contest, no prizes for guessing what they were going to do there. Obviously going back to the maul. BC's defense is set up nicely, and the Blues are going backwards.
Late arrival from both props for the Blues makes you wonder what they were waiting for. If they thought the maul could go by themselves, or maybe they wanted to run out there. Almost shut down immediately. Ince goes to ground. Number 23 for the Blues will be Will Kelly. And the penalty goes Blues' favor.
Looks like it's an offside call, but that Ontario attack is, I think exemplifying what we were talking about in the first half. They hit the maul, so they expend all the resources into the maul. Jacobin's first phase hit up, and then they go to the backs. But the BC defense is already set up, so there's really no space out there to attack.
I got to hand it. Every single one of the Bears players, whether they're having a star-studded game or they're just having, an absolute regular shift, are eager on defense. They're quick, they're getting up, they're shutting it down, and I think it's a good sign when it's hard to tell who's making what tackles, because you're getting those double tackles, you're getting those quick shutdowns, and you're stopping potential plays.
So this is Ontario's line out on the 5-meter line. This is probably one of their best chances of the game to put some points on the board. You don't want to put a goose egg on the board and do the 5-hour flight back to Toronto. That's a lonely feelings effort.
No, that would feel bad. Just for a little bit of ego, a little bit of self-respect, you do want to try to get somewhere.
Stephen Webb doing well, but running into a big Teddy Spain.
It is hard. Digging around in there. Oh, shut down. Matt Fish decides to have a go himself. Can't quite do it. BC Bears shutting it down and getting hands into the breakdown, and they get away with that penalty. Absolutely unreal work from Theo Espanol and Timothy Zimmer.
Langley, British Columbia is going crazy right now with that Timothy Zimmer steal at the breakdown, the pride of Langley, the pride of the Spartans.
Yeah, he is solid. He's got a thick neck on him, strong legs, quite capable. He was a hockey lad. I was chatting with him, like I mentioned, on Wednesday.
Over some beef and cheese.
Over some beef and cheese and a little bit of Caesar salad. And he was a big junior hockey lad. And I think only recently, it was in this last 3 or 4 years, he just was like, you know what, let me try out rugby. Let me go to TWU, chase that business degree, chase a little bit of different sports ball. Really fun.
So Wes Black played 80 minutes on Wednesday. Does not look like he's coming off the field anytime soon.
No.
What is in the water up in Kamloops?
I'm not quite sure. Maybe there's something else underground too. He does work in that mining industry. Absolute unit. He's got thumbs on him that could single-handedly do more in the gym than some players I know.
Hamish James, number 13 for the Bears, coming off the field. This is a little bit of a homecoming for him, as he's currently dating the deputy headmaster's daughter at Shawnigan Lake. There's a fun fact for you.
A little bit in the rumor mill. I'll keep myself out of that.
It's a confirmed fact.
It's a known fact. Fair enough. Love to hear it. Ooh, ball doesn't quite go to hand. Doesn't maybe know who it's going to. Lockie Krath bouncing around there. Nice high ball, opting to relieve some pressure. Jack Shaw with the contest. Doesn't quite get it. Ends up in the Blues' hands.
Stephen Webb looking to play quickly. There's some space there on the right-hand side. Joe Locke's doing his best to get over. Keep that ball in hand. That is not how you score.
It finds grass. It bounces once and out of bounds. Just a guy says, Shirley Curry looks to empty the bench here. If you were Curry Hitchborn with a bench still with some players on, what do you reckon you would do in this position?
I think give some boys some time. It's a little bit tricky to tell who has and has not played, as they're all wearing the orange vest. I will tell you, though, I think the crowd will go crazy as soon as Simroy John takes the field. Current student, I'm getting some nods over here in the broadcast booth. I think it's time for a little bit of a Simroy chant up here if you actually want to see him take the field, though.
Yeah, he's in his hometown, like you mentioned. He goes to Shawnigan Lake School. I mean, could you imagine playing at this kind of level, hosted by your own education system? Like it really is just, picture perfect rugby for that lad.
The pride of Barbados, has played Barbados Sevens, if I'm not mistaken. And if you take a look at him, maybe not the prototypical Sevens player, but boy can move.
Yeah, and that's just at the end of the day. If you can run, play, tackle, score more points than the bad guys, that's rugby for you. So the maul here goes in BC's favor, but it looks like it spills out a little bit. Collected now. Kratz to Nahala. Nahala having a crash, taking on 2 at once, but he got Beck in support. A quick pick keeps that momentum alive. We're just rumbling now at this point. A little bit of contest from the Blues slows it down, and the steal is good.
They had penalty advantage from the line
back
out.
to the line out, and time is off. The ref wants to have a chat. Input here from Rugby JP. The style of kicking is selfish. Agree or disagree?
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. I don't really kick that much, so whenever I kick, it's probably selfish. But maybe if you could enlighten us a little bit, we could give you a bit more of a breakdown on potentially selfish kicking. I would have to assume it's, ball in hand, and instead of having a contact, you're just giving it to the boot, maybe.
Maybe. Andrew Crane, number 20, coming on the field in place of his ex-club teammate Don Carson. Andrew Crane transferring from the Ravens to Capilano this year. Great shift by Don Carson across these 2 games.
Absolutely. Strong lad, big fellow. Wonderful to have in the engine room there. We've got a BC line out. Theo Espanol with the throw-in. Maybe he's referring to Jacob Ince's kick. It looked like he had a bit of an overlap. He had 3 guys outside him, and he still booted it down.
Yeah, I would not have kicked, but I'm not Jacob Ince.
That's fair. Maul gets set. BC strong. They're getting pushed towards the sideline, though. Blues holds as they split off. Theo says we're gonna do this a different direction. We're staying in bounds. Distributed. Kratz having a go. Steps 1, but he's caught up on the ankle as 2 more wrap him up and bring him to the ground. Another pick from Beck speeds this ball up just a little bit, and the penalty goes in the Blues' favor.
I think that's the first breakdown, maybe the second breakdown penalty the Blues have had all game, and they needed it, getting marched backwards in their own 22.
Nick Blaine with a request for you, Graham Turner.
No, I will not stop saying pride of Nick Blaine. You were the pride of, well, you're actually not the pride of anywhere, so there you go.
If you've got pride, wear it proudly. We do love a good banter. Retain that pill, fellas, and back your hands. Absolutely. I mean, the Bears keep probing in. They keep getting attacks, and then I think they're just slipping up on these penalties. If the Blues were more confident in converting, I think it'd be a bit more deadly of a match.
Oh, Simroy John taking off the bib.
Oh, off the hands. Ball's bouncing around. It's going to be a knock on Blues, a knock on Bears. Bears put in. A resounding cheer for Simroy as he takes the field. His Shawnigan Lake alumni are here in full support. Can you hear that clapping over the live stream? A little bit tough with the wind, but they're cheering up here in the spectator booth, down on the field, down around the field, far side as well. We do love that community support.
West Black and Regan O'Gorman coming off. Great shift by West Black, doing Cam Loops very proud. Would love to see Simroy come into this game and make an impact.
Absolutely. I mean, West Black would probably never tell you, but 80 minutes is hard. He's a humble man, but boy, do I not wish 80 minutes on any front rower.
I've described West Black's physique as spherical, but muscular.
That's a good way to put it. I've heard dwarven as well.
A little Lord of the Rings.
We got a bent arm, potentially. Down in the mines of Moria. He's fighting the Balrog himself after this rugby match. Gallagher with the throw. Theo now. Espanol carrying it to the ground with quick support. Gallagher distributing. Nahala having a stab, taking on 2 at once. Gallagher at the back, producing. Pulled back, having a go. Does not find Gabe Casey for the offload, but Casey is there to support. Another dish. Espanol shedding 1 tackle, being taken down by the second. Oh, pick goes for the inside ball, and we are going to get an intentional knock-on. At this point in the game, is that going to be a card? Does not look like it. Always eager to see the cheese.
A little bit tough. Looked like that might have been a knock-on in the tackle, but she's a lot closer to the ball, so I will give
could
her
be
the
why she's
benefit of the
erring
doubt.
on the side of a penalty instead of a card. You know, tackling somebody and the ball pops out is a lot harder to control than purposely swatting it down to kill momentum. Shot called. BC is just stacking that points. They are putting on a clinic, absolutely technical, which is good to see. A little bit of control here, considering they're already up 24 with the aggregate, and another 24 puts them 48 points ahead in this competition. And instead of playing willy-nilly or trying again to just have individual score tries, they're taking those penalties and they're taking the 3 points. Professional habits, despite maybe some more individual errors. With about 15 minutes left here, who do you reckon for your man of the match vote?
It's a tough question. I think Cody got man of the match in the first game. It might be difficult not to give him again. I think Lockie Kratz has controlled the game really well. That kick just sneaking in. Dakota McMullen, I thought, has been really, really good today, as is his brother. I'd say let's see how the last 14 minutes play out, and then I'll give you an answer.
That's fair. Honestly, at the moment, with the way this kicking's going, if they take another penalty or 2, I gotta give it to Dakota just with that boot. If you're in chat and you've got a better opinion than us, please sound off. Let us know who you think the man of the match. Both sides of the ball. We're here to hear all opinions. Forwards, backs, split it up however you want. Kratz with that high ball, taking it, dancing around, having a little bit of a shuffle as he carries through 2. He releases back to his feet, fighting forward, gaining an extra few meters. Love to see that from a back. Gallagher attacking the short side, having to go himself. He breaks through, he spins one, he gives the ball. Great work on the edge there from Kerwin as he gives it back inside to Espanol. The hand is up, he's cheering, he's sliding down just outside those posts. What a celebration.
Great vision by Brock Gallagher there to see one defender on the blind side. Did really, really well to get out of the tackle, and then great support. Teddy Espanol, a front rower, finishing off the try.
Oh, beautiful to see a front rower get on a try like that at the end of a little backs breakaway.
And at 32-0 with the kick to come, this game is firmly out of hand for the Ontario Blues.
At this point, like we mentioned earlier, you don't want to leave an egg on the board. You need something to get up. You have 13 minutes. How are you going to get your one try of the game?
If Ontario have a kickable penalty, do you take the points just so you have 3?
For myself, absolutely. I think at this point, I would want something on the board. 32-3 seems a lot better than 32-0.
I would tend to agree.
Why is 10 immediately kicking the leather off that thing, man? Come on, focus. Got to go West Black for MVP. Slick try. Love to see it. West Black, that is a great, confident vote. Ooh, off the posts for McMullen. A little unfortunate there. Like we mentioned before, West Black with an 80-minute stunner on Wednesday, absolutely setting that tempo in that front row. Probably one of the reasons why Ontario Blues scrum was shut down on Wednesday, I would have to say. And potentially another reason why it was shut down today.
Yeah, him and Emerson Pryor did a great job of kind of growing to that game on Wednesday, and then looks like they came out today with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Ontario getting really no scrum dominance. Good take, Lockie.
Pryor also played full 80 on Wednesday. Props to that front row putting in a shift.
There's some space down here.
Big crash.
On the near side of the field if BC can recycle quickly.
Joe Locke spinning out of it, beating 2, finally being taken down by the 3rd.
That
Seymour
player
John looking
is
to get
not
his first
rolling
touch
away.
on it. Fighting to stay in bounds is Regan O'Gorman, I believe, at the bottom of that ruck. Never mind, it is not, it is Beck. Simroy with his first touch on the ball, having a collision. Theo Espanol, the try scorer, now having a little bit of a chest battle.
Joe Locke motioning
Ball's
to kick
going
the ball, but
backwards.
they will not.
Whoo! Nahalo with the stiff arm. He says, sit down, eat my palm. No good. Brock Gallagher having it with the offload. Jack Shaw fighting to stay in bounds. Great work from him to stay away from that touch. Awesome, awesome stuff.
Jack Shaw, the gas man. Lockie pulling it out the back. Josh Teal looking to go wide, stepping back inside.
Spinning around, hands on it from the Ontario Blues. Do they get the turnover? Is it contested? It's hard to tell. It goes in BC's favor. Second attempt. I do think he had a clean, fair attempt at the ball, but he lost it on his fingers and he went back in, you know. Show him the cheese. That is a first penalty yellow card at the 69.5-minute mark for Ontario Blues. He sinned too hard in the cheese cabinet. Show him the cheese.
Lachlan Kratz playing mediator there. A little bit of frustrations coming in from the Ontario Blues. Give that guy a seat at the UN.
Great, promising phases. What an offload. Absolutely. Some great individual work here from the Bears in this last 11 minutes. And I mean, if you are a substitute coming on after your team has given the Blues a licking like this, you do want to show off your individual skills and talents. After all, this is a selection piece.
Good to see Josh Teal on the field. Was playing a little bit in France, I believe. Definitely vying against James for best Teal brother. Jake firmly out of the running.
Supporting our son, BC player Harish from the UK. Love that. Great work there. Hamish? Must be Hamish James from the UK, I'm assuming. Blues looking like they don't really know who they're passing to at the moment there. That's unfortunate. They tried to go fast and it just resulted in a turnover. And now the Bears are inside that Blues 22 looking for another try on the board.
Looks like they're going to keep it in tight. Lockie is demanding the ball a little bit further towards the camera side.
Zimmer with a crash.
They can get some quick ball here.
Yeah, they are just, they're doing BC Bears forward stuff. I love this. Love it, love it, love it.
I'm not
Out
sure he
the
wanted
back.
that ball.
Kratz having a go. He's looking
for the kick pass.
Cross-field kick straight to the Blues' hands, and the mark is called. That is a tough decision. I understand maybe wanting to try a cross-field, but I don't think he was in a position to attempt that. You really got to set yourself up and come across and kick the direction you're coming across as opposed to, you know, cutting back on against the grain.
The Ontario player there getting about 15 meters on the kick. Not sure he's going to be putting that one on the highlight reel.
Salut, mon fils, bon passage. I know bon, that's good. Like bonbon, it's good candy. I think.
11 years of French immersion. I think that means well done, my son. Good play. Yikes.
Yikes. That's definitely to my French pronunciation, would it be? Whoo, Joe Locke on the back, stealing that overthrow. He's spinning around. He goes, yep, I'm going to crash through this brick wall. He throws his shoulder down. Nahala to Simroy. Simroy shutting one, stiff-arming the second, but brought down, unfortunately. Gallagher distributing. Theo overran it. Shooter there, locking down Henry. Kerwin. Ref saying use it, ball's out. Potentially ball spills out the back. It's going to be a Blues penalty for holding on.
The Blues need to either kick this ball quickly and set the line out quickly, or maybe jouer a little bit. Joe Locke, the last defender on the wide side. Not sure if the winger communicated that in.
If there ever was a time for both sides to switch playing styles, I think it would be right now. I think Blues need to jouer a little bit. I think they need to play. I think they need to have some opening space. And I think the Bears are starting to play a bit too much. Like Chat's mentioning, those kicks just aren't really working. As much as I love Kratz, coming across on the left, getting the ball, being isolated, cutting back right, and going a counter grain crossfield kick just really isn't it. Lost at the top of that line out. The Blues lose that set piece. Theo picking off the back of the ruck, having a crash forward, displaying that ball backwards, distributing to number 19, Conrad Mitchell from Capilano, having a great, brilliant carry. Ref saying, everyone get back on side, make sure you're not cheating. Kratz getting shut down by the shooter. Ball's picked quick by number 20, Andrew Crane, also Capilano, having a bit of a stab. The Bears now in their own half, just outside the 40-meter. They're looking to relieve some pressure. Maybe they're setting up a kick here. Yes, they are. Dakota with that high boot. Contestable.
You can't let that bounce.
It bounces. He gets his own ball back. Insane work.
No offside line, so the Blues are able to play it.
Great work from Matt Fish to get there. The diving attempt from Theo Espanol, not quite it. Finds grass, rolls out of touch. Just about 15 meters outside the BC Bears try line.
Good eyes by Stephen Webb there, recognizing there was space in the backfield. If he was a little bit further behind the halfway line, or behind the halfway line at all, that'd be a 50-22, but he wasn't, so it isn't.
I'm hoping here. Oh, it is a BC lineout. You know, if I was the Blues, you got to contest this one. You got to get up. Because if you could steal this lineout and catch the Bears a little bit of sleep, this would be the perfect opportunity to put some points on the board.
Ontario almost certainly will look to contest through those 2 second rows they have in the middle of the lineout.
Jump. Oh, they steal it. Easy. Looked like Theo Espanol was throwing straight to his ex-teammate, Jaden John. Ref saying release, let it go. Don't know what's going on. Ball's getting buried maybe a little bit. Producing the Blues. They're distributing out the back. Ince now having a go. Maybe a bit selfish. There was a two-man overlap out there.
Great tackle by Gabe Casey in the middle of the field line.
Great tackle by Gabe Casey. Man puts his head where the sun don't shine. He's all made of bones and elbows. And the Bears penalty goes his way.
Just look a little bit disconnected out there. Obviously, they've brought on a lot of subs. Also have to acknowledge that Ontario just beginning their season, so the guys haven't had a lot of minutes so far unless they've been playing elsewhere. BC at the end of their season have put in about 8-9 months worth of work and look like it.
Absolutely, plus the travel like we mentioned, not only from Ontario to here, but from Shawnigan Lake School over to Capilano and back on Wednesday and then into this match. A quick shout out goes to Jaden John of the Mississauga Blues, the only representative of the Blues. He's in that red scrum cap, number 19. Another one to Alan Barrows for Beaconsfield. Good mate of mine. We used to work together, drive him all over the place. Man needs to get his BC license because he has never paid me back for gas money. But he's a good mate. Love him to bits.
How much does he owe you?
Oh, I don't know, 6 months of daily labor driving. It's okay. My Toyota Echo, $50 a tank. Doesn't matter how high the gas prices are. Thing runs like a butte.
I don't think that makes sense, but Brock Gallagher looking to set up.
It doesn't need to make sense.
Looking to set up a contestable kick. That's a great kick.
Hand on by Kerwin. It's a fair contest, but the offside call is given in favor of the Blues.
Just go. Just play.
The Blues are amping up. They're taking that penalty quick. They recognize they've only got 4-ish minutes left on that clock, and you can't go home empty-handed. You need to put something on the board. You reckon they're traveling home tomorrow?
I'd say probably have a good night at Shawnigan Lake down at the pub down the road, and then get on a flight. Hopefully not too early tomorrow morning, and get back to the respective Ontario towns and cities.
I would assume there's probably a handful of them hopping from Victoria to Vancouver, Vancouver from there to home. I know some of them are sticking around, like I mentioned, Alan Barros and Jaden John, both Pacific Pride alumni. They've lived on this coast before, and I think they're sticking around here for the summer as they head into their fall season with the Pride.
Stephen Webb, also living in Vancouver, originally from Toronto. He's working downtown this summer, so I'm sure he'll be sticking around as well.
Exactly.
This is the Blues' best chance for a try, and they do it.
And they're in. Blues coming away with 5 points, 2 points potentially to follow in this final twilight hour of the match.
They only need to score about 10 more tries in the next 4 minutes to make this a game.
You can do that. You can do that. Just let me run through and score. It'd be pretty cool, guys. It'd be pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's a good chance that might be the last phase here. People are walking around. Even if there's a bit more, I reckon what's going to happen is it's just going to get sucked into the ruck, slowed down a bit, and then at full time kicked off the pitch.
So across the two games, who do you think is your player of the series?
Player of the series. I think I got to give it to Cody Nahala. He had a phenomenal, stunning match on Wednesday, and his performance today may have been outshined by other players, but from what I'm seeing, it has just been technical and great work. He's putting in a shift. He's the unsung hero of today, although I'm singing his praises. He's doing a lot of work. He's not getting necessarily the flashy breaks or the turnovers, but he's supporting, he's carrying strong, and he's at those breakdowns, which is key for me.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think Dakota McMullen's been great today, but Cody, definitely the player across these two games. And with the Rugby Canada looking interestingly to our right, I wonder if we'll see his name pop up on any team sheets this summer.
We shall see. Another standout for me has been Beck. He had a phenomenal amount of turnovers in his half that he played on Wednesday. Hasn't had as many today, but 5 turnovers, 6 turnovers in a single match for one half is phenomenal.
Back with a great club season at the James Bay Athletic Club. Huddy Huddy.
Big bounce, goes a little awkward. Cody fighting to keep it in bounds, knocking it back there. Spreading like a virus. Guys are up by 32 points, I believe. I can't quite check the scoreboard. It has died on me, but that is okay.
The scoreboard is boarded this game with the lopsided affair and has chosen to disconnect itself.
The scoreboard's done as well. Good try, Ontario. Got to capitalize when you are gifted position like that, absolutely. And if Ontario was better at capitalizing, I honestly think they would have this game. The amount of penalties that BC has given away from individual errors or sloppy efforts, if the Bears were able to capitalize on every single one of those, I think they would have run the series.
Yeah, the Blues conversion rate inside the Bears 22 has been quite poor today. And if they were able to put a couple of more of those over the try line, bit of a different game.
The turnover goes in the Bears' favor. Cody stealing another one.
Just put a little bit of emphasis on his player of the series.
Yeah, just a little coattails for us to hang our laurels on right at the end. Great work there. Wonderful performance. Even just talking with the management staff, the coaching staff, and seeing the kind of work that was put into this series, the elbow grease to make it all happen was been a pleasure.
And that is game, set, and match. Lockie Kratz punts it over the hill on the far side. The Canada Cup is won by the BC Bears.
Yeah, 32-7 for the Bears in the second match. Puts the aggregate at some quick math is 25 plus 24 is 49 points in the BC's favor to take the 2026 Canada Cup. We will be right back shortly. Maybe we'll have some lobby music for you. We're hoping to get that cup presentation on this live stream. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for sticking around.
That concludes the fantastic 2026 Canada Cup Series. The BC Bears inaugural Canada Cup. both teams have finished shaking hands, can we ask you boys to please come forward to the center sideline for the cup presentation. BC Rugby would like to thank all of our partners and sponsors for their continued effort and support to help grow rugby in British Columbia. Thank you to our event sponsors, the Canadian Rugby Foundation, O'Neill Sportswear, CTNS Travel, and Shawnigan Lake School, for allowing us to be here today. Thank you also to our trusted partners, Gilbert Rugby Canada, Elder Air, Tracks, the Long Way Group, and Jumpstart for their support. Presenting the trophy today, Shawnigan Lake School Athletic Director and BC Board Member, Tim Birdie, also alumni of BC Rugby, a long time ago. Yes, it was. Before we call forward the BC Bears captain, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Ontario Blues for coming here and competing so hard. The class act, gentlemen, thank you. And now if the captain for the BC Bears can come forward to receive the cup, the Canada Cup. Walter Kratz. Well done, BC Bears. Thank you also to our officials team, Luann Zussman, well done. And that concludes our match this afternoon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. Hope you enjoyed the game. Just asking you to make sure you take any garbage with you and make sure it ends up in the garbage bins and way out, please. Thank you again for your support.